guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. Rachel, after Errol Spence defeats Shawn Porter this Saturday night, I wonder who would you rather him fight next? Would it be one of the other title holders, Manny Pacquiao, or would it be the other title holder, Terence Crawford, who has a great resume, hasn't done a whole lot at welterweight yet, despite the title belt. So who would you rather him fight?
I don't know. I'm not
Or someone else.
Sergey Kovalev. No. I'm okay with fighters when they're coming up that, like, I feel like him and Crawford is kind of like maybe the fight, not like to the level of Mayweather Pacquiao.
It's more like when Andre Ward fought Sergey Kovalev, like that. Like, yeah. It's the fight, but
it's
the guys
fight, but like I'm okay with if they like cleaning out the division. Like, I get how things work, and you kind of like, we don't start the NFL season with the Super Bowl. Like you play you don't just choose who you think's the best teams and then go straight to the Super Bowl. So like I get and so I'm okay with that. I think.
So so who would you rather him fight then? Who is he gonna fight next? Who should he fight next? Is my question to you. You're saying no to Crawford. She said no to Crawford.
Well, I'm saying, I mean, give me a list of names. Like, so.
Manny Pacquiao. I mean, the only two.
I feel like that's
who else?
Not frivolous, but it's an outlier fight because Pacquiao is great, but I don't consider Pacquiao to be like in the heart of the division.
Well, he's got a title belt. And he just
I consider him as like this great, he could have already retired, but he hasn't. He's
but
just
that's like
this.
Your little heart, I think, attached to Pacquiao, and not. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Manny Pacquiao holds one of the 4 major world title belts, and to win it, he didn't beat a nobody. He beat Keith Thurman, who was undefeated.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Keith Thurman fight Errol Spence. I think that's a compelling fight, but Keith Thurman just lost to Manny Pacquiao, so I'm saying. If
you're saying that's not like a, I don't know.
It wasn't a fluke.
Like that fight. I don't know if you're going to say then that Pacquiao's right up there at the top. Then the fights to have are against Pacquiao and Crawford. And I say in the meantime, I think there's other guys to fight.
That's where I disagree.
Okay.
We've had enough meantime in the welterweight division. We need to get down to brass tacks here, and he's starting it against Shawn Porter on Saturday. I don't really think that's going to be that competitive.
Okay, well, tell me this, because I don't. If you've been following this channel for a while, I don't have a great memory for sports. Like, Kelsey is my memory bank. Like, tell me, who is available in the welterweight division for Errol Spence to fight that he hasn't already fought?
You mean every single welterweight fighter has?
Well, no, like reasonable. Like, okay, so he's fighting Porter Saturday. We know Pacquiao. We know Crawford. I think Thurman is a reasonable fight, and it doesn't really bother me that he came off a loss to Pacquiao.
Well, but my point is that's a dumb fight to make. The guy that beat Errol Spence is considered the #1 welterweight in the world by most people, as far as rankings go. You're the #1 welterweight in the world. You would have 2 of the title belts. There's no reason to fight anybody but the best other welterweights.
Okay. I will say this. This is something that I've
admired. 29 years old.
In Canelo. Is Canelo taking fights before people thought he was ready, before people thought he needed to, like different things like that. I will say that I think what's coming up in me is that I have a tendency to operate in a scarcity model, and I'm like, oh, Spence, you got to fight as many of the guys as possible before, because if you go straight to Crawford, if you go to Pacquiao, then who are you going to fight after that? There's not going to be like a pull for like you to fight Thurman once you beat if you beat Pacquiao. You know what I mean? So I think I operate from a scarcity model, and I'm like, hey, Spence, soak up all the fights you can get.
He's already been doing that, though. My point is he's been doing that. He's been ready to fight bigger fights for years. Now, I get taking the Mikey Garcia fight because Mikey Garcia was undefeated.
Well, I feel like that was just like a marketing thing, and probably their promoters got together and said, hey, let's do this. But that's like an outlier to me. It doesn't even fit in like the scheme of things.
Let's look at his resume, Rachel. I'm going to tell you his resume over the last few years. And he's 29. He's older. How old is Canelo? Yeah, they're both 29. Compare the resumes of Canelo Alvarez and Errol Spence.
Well, yeah, in that regard, and I don't know.
So he's not. It's not like he's 23 or something. We're not talking about Devin Haney. We're talking about
both of them to be fighting like more people and testing themselves more.
Okay, before he fought Mikey Garcia, and I couldn't remember this kid's name, Carlos Ocampo. Who's Carlos Ocampo? Right? And he knocked that guy out pretty fast. Remember the fight? He fought Lamont Peterson, stopped Lamont Peterson, a faded former 140-pound title holder. A good fighter, but not a welterweight. Not a competitive welterweight. Kell Brook, if you remember Kell Brook, this is after Kell Brook went up and tried to fight Golovkin and got shellacked for it. A former 140-pound title holder. Maybe he won at 147. He might be a welterweight. He might be a real welterweight because he's the one that took Shawn Porter's belt. Of course, he caught Chris Algieri. They let Chris Algieri out of his cage. Leonard Bundu.
Okay, now we're getting to...
Yeah, this is over the last few years. I'm saying that he's already had all these. He fought Philo Greco. Anyway, he's already had the build you up fights. That's why you don't fight. Also, if you're gonna fight, if you're a pay-per-view starting out, Errol Spence, those fights are over. It's time for you to start fighting. I'm sure he wants the fights. I'm not saying he doesn't want the fights. I'm saying I want to see Errol Spence against the best welterweights in the world.
Well, I'm just saying there's named opponents out there, so I kind of don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Crawford, Pacquiao, Thurman. Danny Garcia is a welterweight, right?
Yeah, there's rumors out there that Danny Garcia is the one that's going to land the Pacquiao gig. And that fight would make sense from a Pacquiao perspective because he can beat Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is a good counterpuncher, but Danny Garcia...
Honestly, the only person that I wouldn't pick, that I would have trouble picking Pacquiao against would be Crawford or Spence.
Right.
So, like, to me, the top three are those guys, and yeah, I mean, doesn't the PBC have just like a plethora of welterweights? Like, it just... I
might have a plethora of welterweights, we don't have a plethora of elite welterweights.
Okay. I feel like there's named welterweights out there. And when you read off Spence's resume, I don't see them on there. And I don't like that, especially since I'm being forced to, I'm not being forced to buy anything. But I'm being given a pay-per-view already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know who these name welterweights are you have, other than Danny Garcia. Like, who's a welterweight with a name?
Well, I guess, like, if you don't count the three, then there's, like, not that many.
I think you run out of people, is what I'm saying.
So you have Crawford.
Let's see, maybe I'm wrong. We're going to look at it, Rachel.
I mean, if Porter, like,
I mean, yeah. I don't see any names. Mean Machine, that's who Terence Crawford is in the fight now. I can't say this guy's name.
Okay, yeah.
Mean Machine, though. I know his...
a lot of vowels.
Lipnitz, Sergey Lipnitz, he's a good fighter, but these are...
Okay.
Oh, of course, this guy. What?
So, the top three, like, yeah, you're right.
Here's what I want for you, Errol Spence, if you're watching the show. I want you to fight the biggest and the best names, because you got the talent, you got the skill, man. You might be the best welterweight in the world right now. A lot of people wonder if it's Errol Spence or if it's Terence Crawford. I would love to see that fight, but I understand that fight's hard to make because of the cross-promotional things. But if you fought Manny Pacquiao next, if you take, like, this part of me out of my brain and just leave Kelsey the fan, I don't really want to see Manny Pacquiao fight Errol Spence because I'm not sure he can win that fight because Spence is such a good boxer. Maybe he can, I don't know, but... eventually, the other side of that is, Manny Pacquiao's going to go out eventually. If he can't get Mayweather back in the ring like he wants to, he's going to fight. He's going to fight good opponents. That's what Manny Pacquiao does. And so, hey, there's been plenty of fights in his career that I thought Manny Pacquiao would lose, and he ended up winning those fights. So I just think it makes most sense and probably would be ideal if he fought. He needs to get those title belts because you could lure Terence Crawford into that if you had 3 of the 4 major world title belts. I think that would be a makeable fight.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing Errol Spence go on in his career and having the biggest and best fights because I'm interested in all boxing, always having the biggest and best fights. One more fight that they talk about in the future, I hear people talk about it all the time, Errol Spence versus Canelo Alvarez. What do you think about that? Whoa.
Well, that doesn't even make sense.
I don't know how would that.
Canelo's about to go up to.
What way would that be fought at?
Fighting at light heavyweight, and Spence is at welter right now.
Yeah, because I think maybe
I look at Spencer.
They're putting Errol Spence into a time machine and taking him back to 2014 when Canelo was at 155. He was in that 155-pound weight class that he made up.
And I've seen Spence in person. I don't see him going up to light heavyweight.
Yeah, to be fair, we don't see Canelo Alvarez moving up to light heavyweight either, but he's totally done it. You know what you've done? You've stumbled on the best YouTube boxing show on the internet, according to us. We awarded ourselves that award. We do it every year. 2 times in a row we won that award, and so we're so grateful and happy that you came here. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and come back tomorrow.